So what we're trying today is Lazy Cabbage from our Russian MRE PRI 24-hour ration menu 1. Lazy Cabbage Rolls. What makes it lazy? Well, instead of it actually being cabbage rolls, the cabbage is just cut up and cooked with the meat and the other ingredients that are in this recipe. Interesting. When I think of Russia and you think of food, I think of caviar, of course. Then I think of cabbage and buckwheat. They eat 7 times more cabbage per person than in the U.S. So cabbage is a big part of their meals. And buckwheat, they put in a lot of things. Buckwheat's easier to grow than wheat and is very nutritious also. And so you find buckwheat in a lot of things. And inexpensive, very hardy crop. So what we're going to do too is we're going to change up. Instead of using the MRE spoon, we have, I don't know if Dave Canterbury still has this, but I think it was on clearance, but this is just a set of silverware in a pouch. And, so you can take it camping, put it in your pack. It, obviously a spoon, knife, fork. It has 2 straws, and it even has a brush here to clean out the straws with as well. So that's pretty cool. So we can use that. And for the stove, instead of using that finicky Russian stove, we're going to use isobutane and the Ozark Trail, there's a brand, Ozark Trail stove. Here you see it with a propane adapter that came with it. This stove is really nice. I did a separate review on this, and was $14.95, and you got the stove and the propane adapter. This piece here, we're going to take off to make it mount. You can see that it doesn't fit on that. Okay, it will fit on a propane. Another thing this has that is really nice with the isobutane tanks is it has a stand. You put this on and it makes the whole stove situation much more stable, which isn't a concern when you're stacking things, The last thing you want is this to tip over onto you and burn you while you're away from, away from immediate medical care, we'll say. And we're going to eat it in an official Boy Scout of America mess kit that I picked up with yard sale. You can see it's obviously been used quite a bit, so we're going to give that a try. We're going to heat it up in this, then we're going to transfer over this to eat. So let's get it rolling. Now we don't need the neat MRE matches because this has a piezoelectric element. In other words, when I push this in, it's going to snap and hit this crystal that's going to generate a small amount of electricity. That electricity is going to come up through here and complete the circuit by jumping over to this. And so that spark is going to ignite the gas. If for some reason they don't ignite, you can physically put, when it's cool, physically push this down more so you make the gap smaller. And in one of my previous videos, I proved that by not running the stove at full bore, you save quite a bit of propane, fuel, whichever you're using. And, if you're carrying this, if you're camping or going on a longer trip or whatever, it's more important to not carry a lot of stuff and conserve fuel rather than, having your water boil in exactly, 4.5 minutes or something like that. So running it at a lower setting conserves fuel because, it's open. There's just so much fuel being lost. And when you have it up full bore, more of it is lost. So we're going to open this tin and see what it looks like. Most of these foods, the 2 foods I've eaten so far, they basically are kind of gray or brown. Here we have this one. So we're going to turn this on. There it goes. You can't see the flame. So, like I say, I can see a little bit of it, but I don't know if you can on the video, but yeah, you can with the black background. So, like I say, we want to turn this down, and we're going to save fuel doing that. And we're going to use this to take anything off that's hot. You can hear it heating up already. And doing it at a lower setting is going to give you a better chance of not boiling it. I suppose we could have, I never thought of that. We could have just opened it slightly. Let's put that just back on to keep some of the heat in while we open our official Boy Scout mess kits. The liquid's just spurting out of there. Hopefully that doesn't make the dish too dry. Wow. I tell you, this would work better on an alcohol stove or the pellet stove. It would cook a lot slower. There you go. You've turned it down some more than. So where did we source these things? The Ozark Trail stove was $14.95 at the time, with the propane adapter, the little legs for the butane tank, and it was $14.95 at Walmart Ozark Trails. And this Boy Scout kit I picked up for $3 at a yard sale. I live in Maine, and yard sales are a big thing. So there's so many things you don't have to buy new. If it's durable, someone's selling it at a yard sale. We could have cooked it in a pot, but you can see what's involved here. We've got the pot, the cup, cover the pot, then we actually have the dish, and the little bridge lock device that was over here. You could use that. That can be used for a pot, for a handle too, for a pot, if you want to do it. But we're just going to use this as a plate to eat. Oh, and so yard sale $3, Walmart $14, and I really don't remember the price of the kit here with the silverware. I seem to think that it originally was $12 and it was marked way down. He has a sale page on his internet site, and there are often some things there that are very inexpensive. That's where I got his alcohol stove. They went to a new model, so they closed out all their old ones, and gee, it works like a champ. Let's just see how we're doing as far as heating. It's a little warm to the touch. I could probably still hold it, but we don't want to get burned, do we? I bet we could. Oops. I'm going to just take a little bit out to see if it's warmed up on the top at all. Oh, it's starting to get warm. But it's got a ways to go. While we're waiting for that, let's try some cheese with their MRE crackers. These crackers are very sturdy. And you wonder why I cut things instead of ripping things, and it's called arthritis. You can see how thick they are. They're not very salty. They're not like some crackers that we would eat. It's made pretty neutral, because the idea of it is it's supposed to substitute for bread also. And you may not want salty bread. So, there's the cheese. And, well, it's not super spreadable, but it will do. Okay, we're going to try that once we turn the camera around. I could maybe break this up. Whoops. I'm being sloppy. Still a little ways to go. Like I say, we could have done that full bore. Got it heated really quick. We might have burned the bottom. Plus, we're just wasting fuel. And if you're camping or hiking, through hiking, whatever it is, you probably want to save, because you save on weight. Because of course the biggest weight of this thing is the stove, the fuel tank. So the less of those you can carry around, the better off you are. It's also quieter at a low setting. And I don't know how important that is, but maybe if you're filming it is. It sounds like wind going across a microphone. Okay, let's give this a try. Well, unfortunately, I did burn the very bottom layer, but not very much of it. You know, you can say that that's blackened and still eat it. But that's a good reason, perhaps, to do something like this on a alcohol stove or the tablet stove. I just thought that was so unstable and tippy, but I think if I did it upside down, where the pointed ends would have actually dug into the dirt, it would have been better. But here we go, let's try it out. It's good. It's seasoned well. It's got carrots. I think it's got pork in it. But this definitely would be nice on a trail. And if I'm a hungry soldier, it would definitely be nice. I mentioned in my other video that this was a MRE house, which evidently, at least the one I got, was shipped from, oh my goodness, Belarus. They had a 2-for-1 sale, so $54 for 2 MREs instead of 1. They're 24 hours, so each one has 3 meals, which each meal basically, if you look at it, it comes down to a main dish, something for side. Now the other one, I've got liver for this. I don't know about that, but and then each meal would have a cracker, and then you have a lot of extra sugar, which I don't know whether, you know, I guess if I was, you know, really exerting myself, maybe I would mix that sugar in with something. In with a, you know, with the drink I had, the electrolyte drink, I could have added it in there. I suppose I could have added it into the regular main part of the meal, but I don't know how that would make it taste. But you do want maximum calories, but it's just so different than US MREs. Let me see if I brought one of those sugar packs out to show you. So besides having a regular sugar, okay? Or is this the salt? Well, anyway, they've got three huge packs. And like I say, I mean, obviously you're going to have an important amount of calories in here. So, let's try. I mean, I definitely like this just the way it is. I'd even think of cooking this to eat at home. You know, it's just, and it mentions the sugar from beets, but I don't know how that is important. But let's just put a bunch of sugar in and try it again. I would assume it would taste like meat that's covered with sugar. Oh, that's definitely interesting. And I guess if I was trying to squeeze the last bit of calories out of this meal, I would make sure I consume the sugar somehow. Very good. Definitely a thumbs up. Kind of strange with the sugar, but again, like I say, okay. Here we have the cracker with the cheese. The cheese is like the cracker. It's really bland. Got practically no flavor at all. Well, then if it doesn't have a lot of flavor, you can't mind eating it, I guess. That must have been a Russian tank that went by. Again, I don't know. If I was going to pick cheese to put on a cracker, it probably would be more flavorful than this, but again, out hiking or being an actual soldier, this would be very welcome. I guess there's two ways to look at food. Would you buy it in a restaurant? Would you eat it at home or out on the trail? And would you eat it if you were really, really hungry? Well, you would. We're going to eat a piece of this blackened. Huh. That isn't that bad. Wow. There we are. And we're going to do another video that actually uses their water purification tablets, and we'll talk about some options with that. Bye.